So if you're new to wholesaling or you just started out, don't fall into this trap. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Graylan Stewart. I'm an entrepreneur and real estate investor, and my channel is all about wholesaling real estate. So thanks a lot for joining me. If you find value in this video towards the end, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I found out that over 80% of people that's watching my videos don't even subscribe at all. And I'm dropping gold to you guys most of the time, trying to tell you the ins and outs of how to do this business. So my channel, if you're new, it's all about wholesaling real estate, but also we do buy and hold properties, and we also do fix and flips. We operate nationwide, but we focus all of our buy and holds and flips in Oklahoma City. It's because I have some of my team members there, and that's kind of where I'm from, so we're all comfortable in that area. And it's a good cash flowing area. But today's video is exactly what I kind of hinted at the beginning. Don't fall into this trap. So what this trap is when you're new to wholesaling real estate, it's easy to get going and you're doing a deal or two here and there, and you just start doing deals. So obviously it's an amazing feeling because now you've suddenly replaced your 9 to 5, your everyday income, and you're actually making money in this business. So what's really cool is you can actually get probably 3 to 4 deals per year. In most cases, that replaces 90% of the population's annual income, and you can literally do 3 or 4 deals in 1 month. My very first month, I actually closed on 7 deals, which is not typical, but at the same time, it is possible. So you can definitely make a lot of money in this business. But what the trap is that I'm talking about is falling into that trap of just making another good income, okay? Because really, the whole goal, if we're really honest with ourselves, everybody wants to make a lot more money, right? You think you want to make a ton of money so you can make a difference, you can provide for your family better, you can go on more trips, you can do all these things with this money, right? In reality, it's really the freedom that we're chasing, the freedom that money buys. So money is really just a byproduct of what we really want. Because freedom means it's freedom to do whatever you want, when you want, with whoever you want, however you want, and that kind of thing. So without the money, though, the freedom really isn't possible. So the trap that I do find wholesalers tend to fall into is not buying rental properties, because really we're in this game ultimately as real estate investors. And keep in mind, on a side note, you're not really a real estate investor until you start buying properties yourself. When you're a wholesaler and you haven't ever bought a property, you're just a wholesaler. But once you take down your first property, then you're officially a real estate investor at that point. But in order to really make forever money, that cash flow is king, just like my shirt says. You have to start acquiring properties. Now, whether that's one apartment building or a bunch of single families or several apartment buildings or a mix of all of that, whatever that looks like for you is really what it takes. And that's what really we're all chasing, is trying to get to our forever number. Now, what is a forever number? So that's different for everyone. For most people, it's probably, if you can make $3,000 to $5,000 a month, that would kind of replace your 9 to 5, W-2 income type of a job, right? Because, I think the average in the United States is around 50 grand a year as a household. So that's a husband and a wife combined. But there's a lot of single families out there. But just overall, I think it's $50,000 a year. So when you really take that into consideration, what does that really mean? After taxes, that's like $3 grand a month, roughly. But whatever that number is what you have to figure out for yourself. So let's just use $10,000 just as an example, because that's easy math, and I'm not smart enough to just do math in my head, but I can do round numbers like that easy. So let's just say my forever number is $10,000, okay? Now, my goal in my business is to always make at least $300 to $350 per month in cash flow on my rental properties, okay? So what does that really mean? That means is if I have a mortgage that includes my taxes, really my mortgage, actually, when you're doing investment properties, it just includes your mortgage and your interest rate, okay? So let's just say that's $500. And then I've got my taxes, insurance, potential vacancies, potential repairs, and that kind of thing. So let's just say with all that, it's another $200. It brings it up to $700 per month. So let's just say that I'm renting that property for $1,000 per month. That means I have actual $300 cash flow in that property. So that's the difference of my all-in expenses to where to what I'm bringing in on the rent. So that in between is my cash flow. Cash flow is king, guys, because that's really cash flow leads to wealth, and that leads to your freedom number. It leads to your forever, wealth building empire. So really, rental properties is really cool too. Now, side note, I'm not a tax attorney or accountant or anything like that, but I do know that there's benefits to buying rental properties, right? Obviously, the obvious one is appreciation. Not all houses appreciate, depending on the area and the state and all that. But for the most part, generally speaking, houses appreciate over time, right? But the biggest tax benefit as a real estate investor when you buy properties, there's a huge tax loophole, if you want to call it that. It's called depreciation. So you get to depreciate your property for 27 and a half years, meaning you can write those properties off. So that offsets your active income with your passive income, which is your cash flow, okay? Now, active income is that amazing wholesale ATM that we all love to do. And if you haven't done a deal yet, start doing deals, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But active income is awesome. But at the end of the day, that's still just the rat race, right? If you're just having active income coming in, yes, wholesaling real estate, you can make a lot more money than you do with your W-2. Even like doctors and lawyers and attorneys, they might make $200,000, $500,000 a year or whatever. But that's just a giant active income. At the end of the day, a real estate investor like myself probably worth more money than they are because I have rental properties. I own 27 or so properties that cash flow every month that actually pay me, and I get the tax benefits of those to offset my gigantic active income from my wholesaling business. Okay, but if you're just wholesaling, as a solopreneur or just doing it as a side hustle or doing deals here and there, that's great, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But if you're doing that, all you're doing is just another, it's just a higher paying job is really what it is. It's no different than your 9 to 5 in the rat race. The main difference is you get to kind of call the shots and that kind of thing, but it's still just active income to where you are trading your time for money. So to really create wealth in life and to build an empire to where you can be financially free, you and your family forever, is really through passive income. And the only way to get passive income as far as real estate investing goes is acquiring properties. And that's just the fact of it. So when you acquire properties, obviously, my goal, like I said, is to try to get $350 in cash flow every single month. However, in my business right now, I think my average is closer to $500 per month, and I've got 27 or so doors right now. And when I say doors, that could be one apartment building with 27 units in it, or that can be 27 single family houses, or that can be a mixture of both, or mobile homes, or whatever it is, duplexes, triplexes, whatever. So 27 cash flowing entities that are bringing you money in from people living in your properties is really what the cash flow is that you take home. So just don't forget, cash flow is king. So that's what I would say that a lot of newer wholesalers fall into, is they just get used to that gigantic income and they love that. They love those big checks, the bank account growing and that kind of thing, which I love that too, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, if you want to, you have to look big picture and long term. I'm more of a visionary. I kind of see the big picture of everything that I do. And that's typically what most CEOs are. They are the visionary. And then that's why you typically will hire a COO to kind of operate your business, because they're more of the integrator to where they can do the day-to-day and kind of bring to reality the visions that you have, and maybe even kind of keep you on track of your vision to where, because as an entrepreneur, and a CEO, we're always thinking of, bigger, better, newer, different things, always like the squirrels or, just looking around everywhere. So that's exactly why people end up hiring COOs, to kind of help them stay focused and to run the day to day. And I'm close to that. I'm grooming a COO right now. It'll be 12 to 18 months probably before that comes to fruition. However, I'm preparing for it. I'm already mostly working on my business as opposed to in my business, but I still do some of the day-to-day things, helping out my team and that kind of thing, which I love. Don't get me wrong. But ultimately, to have true freedom to where you don't have to do anything, rental properties is where it's at, which technically I could probably retire today, but I'm never happy not doing something. I'm happier like staying busy and growing things. So that's what I'll continue to do. But hopefully that makes sense. Don't fall in the trap to where you just make that big active income where you have a higher paying job. If you want to do wholesaling, build it into a business to where it can eventually run without you. So it is sort of passive at that point. But really to create ultimate wealth and to have it grow over time and having somebody else pay off your mortgage, you got to buy rental properties. So start early. It's never too early. You don't have to have money to buy rentals either. If you get the deal good enough, that's why wholesaling is awesome. I get to cherry pick the deals. I choose the deals that I want to keep. So I'll keep the ones that I get the biggest discount. Those are also could potentially be the biggest wholesaling fees too. So you kind of got to just see where you're at. Do I have enough money in the bank right now to where I can take down another property, to where I can afford to remodel it and that kind of thing, so I can create that long-term wealth. Because that's kind of where I'm looking now. I'm looking to acquire a little bit more than I have been in the past. That's really my only regret so far. It's only a little over 3 years into the business, but I kind of thought I would have more than 50 properties by now because I should have. But I'm going to keep more. So that's my goal towards the end of this year and obviously 2022. I'm going to just acquire more and more properties so I can keep growing my cash flow because cash flow is king. Okay. So anyways, hopefully you found value in this video. I'd appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, thumbs down. I'm cool with that. Drop me some comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you're at on your cash flow journey or where you're at on your wholesaling journey. I'd love to be a part of it. We can take the ride together. But if you stuck around this long, please subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.